Still here, still educating, still giving results.
Got about 50 jokes for Jim's video. Instead, just going to read one of his comments that qualifies as a joke. Jeff asks, is it a waste of money to buy BCAA when you already get it in your daily diet? Dr. Jim Stepani replies, no, because you don't get enough, nor do you cover beta-alanine, creatine, betaine, etc., which is why I cover all needs in pre-gym, post-gym. Jeff replies, thanks. And so I was wrong. Dr. Jim Stepani is a magician. He can diagnose your supplement needs without any information whatsoever about your eating protocol, your goals, your body composition, just nothing, no information at all. He can prescribe you his supplement. Let's just keep the tape right where it is, Jim. When you see Jim put out a video like that, never silence, gonna keep educating, etc., those are some high-level nads right there. Those are some Thomas DeLauer misrepresent spot fat reduction research nads. Vince would dry muscle that video, Tess Holliday would science deny it, Penny would Photoshop it, and Vince would imitate it. My lawyers have instructed me to say imitate it. And so in light of this type of stuff and the absolute ballsiness of some of these fitness celebrities who've been dominating in the industry, I thought it would be apt to make a video discussing some of the best YouTube channels, and this is the science edition. Now, some of you may argue, well, all fitness channels are science-based because fitness and health has scientific principles underlying the information. However, the three channels I'm going to discuss are very overtly scientific. They very much overtly project research and also project practical scientific training information. In many of these cases, they already have very strong and large channels, which is superb to see, superb. And so when I project these three channels, you will be aware of them. It's not a case of agreeing with every single word that a person says. It's about the culture of a channel. It's about the transparency, the honesty, an analytical approach. In these cases, an evidence-based approach. It's about purposefully not trying to mislead people for some sort of short-term profitable gain. So you have to understand that disagreement about certain nuances of training and health are very, very normal in the fitness industry. That's not a problem. It's healthy to have this debate. But the absolute key with these channels is they are trying to give honest and transparent information. So it's the culture of the way that they present their content, which I think is very much now the future of what we're seeing in YouTube fitness. An approach to exercise science in a variable manner without perhaps a dominating ideology distorting the content. You already know my thoughts on Every Damn Day Fitness. I've made a peer review of his channel. I thoroughly enjoy watching his content.
Millions of people have completed Shortcut to Size. Do you know how many of them gained over 20 pounds of muscle in 12 weeks?
20 pounds of muscle in 12 weeks. Okay.
Done trying to drop body fat to some degree. And so now what I'm doing is just maintaining around like 4%.
4%. You know we can see you, right?
Also, Philion, I've made a video about his content, another channel I enjoy. My thoughts will probably offend you. Michelle McDaniel, who is very successful right now and deserves her success. I enjoy her channel too. Those are some channels I do enjoy, but I'm going to talk about some of the more overtly scientific channels in this edition. And so there are many people that I've left out of this video because my video would be way too long. We've got people like Dr. Andy Galpin, who puts out some YouTube content, who has some great information. Jeremy Ethia has over 1 million subs. Revive Stronger does some excellent interviews. And the buff dudes have better jokes than me. But what I would like you to do also is ink some names down below. Some channels that I've not talked about perhaps, that you may think have value in relation to a science-based approach to projecting content. And so let's start with a Jeff, Athlean-X. If you don't know Jeff Cavalier, he's an up-and-coming YouTuber who has some potential, which is a joke because he's the largest fitness YouTube channel there is, growing and growing beyond means that we've not seen before, putting out anatomy and biomechanical-based information with over 1,000 videos and just so much high-quality content on there. He's applicable because his knowledge and the way that he explains things is outstanding, and you can take away and you can apply it to yourself. And specifically, he offers many simple variations to exercises. And I come away from a lot of his videos thinking, Why didn't I think of that?
You want to train your lats in as many key functions as they have. If your lats can extend, you want to extend. If your lats can adduct, you want to adduct. If your lats can extend and adduct, as you can see here, then you want to do both.
And that's a good sign. If you watch someone's videos and you go, why didn't I think of that? Or I've never thought of it in that way. And you can instantly put that into your training that day. That's when you know you're following a good channel. Now, it seems suitable to bring up Jeff at this point because the Athlean-X exhibition is happening this weekend in the United States of America. I can't be there, but I wish everyone the best who is attending and speaking at the event. I understand that people may disagree with some of the nuances of his information, as is normal with every channel, of course. However, he's not trying to mislead anyone. He's giving out high quality information. And if you look at his library overall, I kind of feel guilty that his library of videos is available for free on YouTube. Whenever you feel guilty about watching something for free, probably a good sign that it's good quality content. And so in terms of anatomy, biomechanics, practical, science-based training information, he's very much the gold standard right now. Next, Mr. Jeff Nippard. Basically, all the Jeffs are excellent, but not this Jeff. And so Jeff Nippard's channel gives research-based information in an analytical manner. The way he presents research and he discusses both sides and he gives ideas and then he comes to evidence-based conclusions really is very well done. And it's very simple to understand the way that he projects it too. But one of the problems that Jeff does have is people misinterpret what he says all the time because he will look at something from both sides. For example, when he talked about spot fat reduction, he looked at research from both sides of the argument. And so the short attention span viewers came to the conclusion that Jeff Nippard said spot fat reduction is science-based and real. Whereas if you actually watch his entire video, in his conclusion, he says that we don't have the data to support spot fat reduction in the current state of research.
So all in all, I'm not confident actually making this recommendation. I think that a sustained caloric deficit, progressive resistance exercise, and sufficient protein intake are the three pillars of quality fat loss. And in my coaching experience, I've always found every time that stubborn fat areas are just simply the last areas to lean out.
And so that's just one example of how I really enjoy the way that he presents evidence to a mass audience. And he very clearly projects limitations in research. He looks at meta-analysis, and I don't see an overlying ideology or bias that's going through his content. He seems very open-minded, honest, and transparent in what he's trying to do, making variable conclusions which are not set in stone and not one size fits all. He also has training videos, technique and form videos, which are also excellent. And I know what you're thinking, all of these channels have large subscriber bases. What's the point of this video, James? The point is, VShred has over 1 million subscribers. So there's that. But seriously, it's important, even though these channels have large subscriber bases, to continue to support and promote these channels because we want them to stay at the top. We want them to be the most visible on fitness YouTube, to try and drown out some of the absolute drivel that we see in social media, most of which is aimed at beginners. It's part of the beginner trap where most of the fitness money comes from, but a lot also aimed at intermediate and lifters beyond, where people will take more advanced topics and completely twist them and destroy them, try and confuse people when indeed it's not that complicated. And so last but not least, Mr. Omar Isuf, and he's been going against the grain since before it was a thing. Since before we've had really these critique channels, Omar made pie charts such as this. And to date, it is the greatest pie ever created. Better than American pie, better than your mama's apple pie, and to the really passionate mathematicians out there, it's better than pie. And again, he's giving honest, transparent content, and he's giving it based in science. And what I particularly like about his channel, not just the humor, but also the fact that he brings people onto his channel to explain certain concepts. For example, during the Natty Verified issue, he brought on someone who works in the field of testing to explain this. He brings on scientists all the time to explain different parts of fitness and training. And he puts out different types of content, including longer range type podcasts. And so I understand that I'm not saying anything revolutionary here. But at a time when people like Jim Stepani are releasing videos like this in this almost defiant manner, I think it's important that we continue to impress upon people some of the content that will genuinely help people to achieve long-term success.
And so the future of YouTube fitness is bright, it is strong. May Jeff and Omar continue to spread their information for a continued age of eternity.
And so what I would love from you is to put some names down below. I'm always getting names of channels that I've not seen before. Please can you ink some of those down below for me? And please let me know your top science-based fitness channels. I'm James Linker, waiting for the glutamine to kick in. I'll see you soon.
That you could lose 10 or more pounds in just 7 days. The secret behind losing so much weight.
Got it. A sustained caloric deficit using training and eating protocols unique to the person depending on their needs and characteristics.
Is a detox.
I was so close. I was so close. I could feel the sanity, which apparently has left the room.